Now, before we begin, we want to make sure we set the proper workspace and the proper work set as we go through this course. So the workspace we're going to be using is going to be the Training and Examples workspace. So if you just go up to the workspace and you select Training and Examples, that'll set up the settings and configuration for that. And then our work set is going to be our Training Imperial work set. So this is like our project specific standards that we'll be using. And this will be Training Imperial. And what we're going to do is we're not going to create a new file. We're going to browse to an existing file I already have set up. I have a corridor London Road DGN file already set up with the appropriate attachments. And we'll take a look at that here real quick. So let's go into creating and manipulating the corridor folder, and we'll go down over here to our London Road DGN file. We'll open that. And if you recall, when you create a corridor, it always requires horizontal and vertical geometry as a starting point. And you typically need an existing terrain model as well, so you can tie down your slopes and such. So if we come over here and we go to our attached tools and look at our references that are attached, you're going to notice I got a lot of stuff in my drawing right now. And one of the things I have is my existing terrain model. Pretty much need that to tie down our slopes. As I mentioned, we definitely need our horizontal and vertical geometry to create a corridor. I also have some other files here attached. All these files were created with OpenRoads Designer. They contain civil data, and everything can interact through reference files. That's why these are all attached as reference files. So recall, all the civil data is stored in a DGN, and we can attach these as reference files. So we're going to come over here and we could take a look at continue reviewing these DGNs that are attached. I have a geometry control file, and that represents my roadway plan geometry. That's my edges of pavement, my edge of shoulder. Those type of things are drawn inside of this DGN. I have a right-of-way DGN file. That one has all my right-of-way, existing and proposed right-of-way lines are drawn in there. I have my super elevation for London Road. All my super elevation data has been already created and stored inside of that DGN. And then we have our SR97 divided highway corridor. We have the bridges for SR97, and then the bridge abutment walls for SR97. And then we have the topo aerial, which is you see as the backdrop here. So all those files can work with your corridor, and we will be using those as we progress through the course. So one thing to note, when you do start using these reference files with the corridor, rules and relationships get created. So you need to be aware of that. Don't detach these once the rules and relationships have been created. Detaching the reference files can break the rules in association, so that's why we don't want to detach them if they're currently being used by the corridor. Also note how the files are federated and named. It's usually a best practice to keep your files federated and named in an organized manner. That's just going to help us eliminate problems downstream and keep things organized within the project.